It's Dirt Rally. Codemasters have released a rally sim on Steam Early Access. This is their first proper attempt at a sim, and these are my first impressions.
And right 6 long, 40.
First of all, I think you'll agree it's a pretty good looking game. They have reused a few older assets, but there's a lot of new stuff, and generally it looks really good. I have to commend Codemasters for going this route. It's quite a bold move for a big studio to show their game earlier than usual, so that's pretty encouraging. We just have to hope that they listen to the feedback. If I had one criticism of Codemasters' recent output, it would be the wheel support. Throughout the whole of the last generation, all the Dirt games, the F1 games, they haven't really supported the wheels properly. They seem to be mostly optimised for gamepads. The wheels seem to work best at very low rotation, about 270 degrees, or you could mess around with these linearity or saturation sliders. So I was looking forward to a significant change when it comes to wheel settings, wheel support, and this is what you're presented with. And it looks surprisingly familiar. In fact, it seems identical to what you get in the old Dirt and F1 games. So that's pretty disappointing. There's still no 900 degree, 1080 degree support. You've got these weird saturation and linearity sliders. The force feedback has a vibration slider. It's missing that typical PC sim setting where you can remove the driver hands and wheel from the cockpit, and so on. It's just not very sim-like. It still looks very much like an arcade game from this menu. But perhaps it's all in the handling when you get on track. Well, unfortunately there's another hurdle to get over, and that is the force feedback. It feels completely bizarre to me. I'm surprised at the amount of people who think it feels good. Either it's working differently on their systems, or I've got a completely different view of how steering should feel. My initial thought was that the feedback must be inverted or something, because it feels so strange when you're applying countersteer. Like there, for example, the rear of the car steps out. There's a slight feeling that the wheel wants to naturally turn into the slide, but then it stops, and so I have to apply more countersteer myself, and then the wheel seems to resist my application of countersteer instead of helping me. I mean, it even looks completely wrong in this footage. You can see how much I'm having to fight the wheel. The only time I felt something similar is when I've run inverted or negative feedback in an ISI engine game like R-Factor or Game Stock Car, where there's an option to completely flip the force feedback signal for Logitech wheels. It's not exactly the same. A fully inverted signal feels even more strange. Just turning normally into a corner will make the wheel want to pull to the left or the right rather than self-center, which doesn't happen here. But in these oversteer situations, it does feel like an inverted signal. There you go again. I'm having to put so much effort into applying opposite lock when it should be helping me. As a comparison, this is Richard Burns' Rally. I didn't bother to set up a handbrake, so I'm using a button, which is not ideal. But you should be able to see a significant difference.
Fast right, easy left.
This is what I believe it's supposed to be like, and this is what it feels like in basically every sim. When you apply opposite lock, the wheel does most of the work for you. Hopefully you can see I'm releasing pressure in my left hand to allow the wheel to countersteer by itself. It's an entirely different sensation in Dirt Rally, and in my opinion it can't possibly be right because it's so unintuitive. And I've tried all their recommended settings as well as messing around with the XML, and it doesn't make much difference. I think this is a more fundamental problem. I ended up turning it off because I just can't use it. This is me doing a full stage with no force feedback.
4, 3, right 4 half long, into left 5 60 crest. Into right 3 long, and left 2 half long, don't cut. Right 6.
And when you turn it off, and just try and get all your feedback through the visuals and the audio, there does appear to be a pretty nice physics engine hiding underneath. And it is really good fun.
60. Left 4 long, 100 over crest jump maybe. Caution right 3 half long narrows. Into left 6 half long, don't cut, 80 crest. Into keep left over jump. Into caution right 5 over 80.
This inverted sensation when you're counter steering confused me so much. I got out my old Driving Force Pro because I thought maybe it's just a Thrustmaster problem. So I tried the Driving Force Pro and it's exactly the same. I've tried it on a T500, a TX and a Driving Force Pro, and they all exhibit the same behaviour, so I'm assuming this is how the force feedback is at the moment. And considering with rally driving you are counter steering most of the time, this is a pretty big problem. But with zero force feedback there does appear to be something nice happening underneath, so there's a lot of potential here. And apart from the force feedback, they really need to sort out the controller settings and the wheel support in general. If they want to be perceived as a modern sim, then they need to match the other sims out there, which means proper 900-degree rotation support. The wheel settings should be applied per vehicle. The sim should see your wheel's full rotation and then apply its own soft lock that is correct for every single car. That is how all the top sims do it these days. iRacing, Assetto Corsa, R-Factor 2, Project Cars, they're all doing it like that. And Codemasters are saying we recommend between 270 and 400 degrees. Well, I don't think any of the rally cars in this sim have 270 to 400 degree steering lock in real life. That in itself tells me that there is something that needs to be changed with the way they're simulating the steering. Most rally cars will have at least 540, and the older ones will have even more. I imagine this BMW would have at least 700, maybe 900. So yeah, that's something that they really need to address. And related to that, they need to sort out the wheel rotation in the cockpit view, which is currently unusable because it only turns about 90 degrees each way, plus it's animating bumps that aren't coming through the force feedback, so it needs some filters and it needs to be one-to-one rotation. But apart from that, and the fact that I don't seem to be able to get my clutch and H-shifter to work, it's a very good start. It's nicely presented, I really like the stages and the car selection, so it's not quite the worthy successor to Richard Burns yet, but the potential is there. I'll stop talking now so you can watch this replay and enjoy the most standout feature of this sim at the moment, which is the sound.
Into right 3 long, and left 6 60, right 2 continues. Right 3 half long narrows. Left 6 80. Right 6 continues 80 and tightens 5. Left 5 bad camber, 80 crest jump maybe, 120 through dip. Left 3 half long, don't cut, bad camber. Into right 4 half long, don't cut, 60. Left 6 over crest, into caution narrows, left 5 half long. Into right 4 long, 80 crest, jump maybe. And right 6 continues 100. 60 crest, and left 2 long. Long, don't cut. Into crest jump maybe. And caution left 6. Keep right over crest. Into turn left 4 long, don't cut, 100.